is related to the consultation that we carried out in September this year with regard to stage 2, which is the indoor leisure pool building, and that involved the general Taupo community and several interest groups, which included mobility access and disability access groups. And as a follow-on from the workshop that was held in November with some councillors. One thing I just want to make very clear before we start delving into this is that for anybody who wants to access the changing rooms and or the indoor, the Lotus swim pools, regardless of what option is chosen today, that's done, that access is undercover. Okay? Even if there's no roof over the remainder of the pool area, the access to the changing rooms and the indoor and the Lotus swim is undercover, under the roof. Okay? So we have 4 options, I believe, to consider, and I will refer you to the drawings that are within the agenda. We are looking at on page 12/3 the indoor leisure pool building and the access, which is zones, part of zones 2 and 3 and zones 4 and 5. If I can just ask you to go to page 12/6. I think the strongest message that came from the consultation was from members of community who have disabilities or mobility access problems, and we've not really encountered that before, and it necessitated a review of the proposed changing rooms. And we believe we've addressed the issues that were raised, and we've also provided, and again, some more feedback, improved areas for young children, babies, and the baby change areas. So what you see in front of you there, the areas in red are primarily for families. You see baby change areas there, and the areas in the light green, the accessible, are for people with disability and mobility access issues. Now, on the room number 307, please disregard the baby change there. I don't believe we were putting one of those in. That's an oversight by the architect on the preliminary drawings. But it is proposed that that room, which is quite a large room, be used for people who are either obese and can't move around very well, or who are in wheelchairs and are totally inanimate and need to be taken in and out of a wheelchair and put onto a bed to be undressed, showered, dressed again, to go home. Now, it is proposed that that room needs a hoist that will go in both directions, north, south, east and west, across the four corners of the room. The hoist is to lift people who are in the vicinity of 150 kgs plus, and there are members of the Taupo community who are like that, and a lady called Wendy Crisp who deals with those people with regards to exercise has confirmed to me that, confirmed to us that the proportion of that type of person within the community will not decrease in the future, it will increase. There will be more people with diabetes, more people with obesity, and we need to acknowledge, and because they use the public, like any other member of the public. It's also been suggested that we have a table in there that can go up and down, that we can put, there was a lady there who was in a wheelchair who uses it, and she has to be lifted out and sponged down and dressed by somebody else. So we do that as well, because she also uses the pool, and I believe that there are other people as well. So this design now accommodates what the feedback that we got from that consultation process. We also have, and I know Councillor Hickling has mentioned this before in this room, just provide a couple of change rooms, male and female, where elderly people who don't want to undress in front of young children using the other parts of the changing room can do so in private. So that's a revised design following on from the consultation process. I'll take some questions whenever you're ready. If you look at, then we're talking about the, I can refer you to 12/12. Shows a drawing where we are proposing as one option a part translucent roof over the learn to swim area, and I will confirm to you now that those dotted between grid lines 17 and 18, 18 and 19, 19 and 20, those shade sails are in every option. Every option. They are directly over the toddler's pool, and whatever options chosen today, they're included in the cost estimate. So this part roof does provide cover for people who will be standing within the learn to swim pool, watching their child, whatever, swim. Of course, there'll be a drain, gutter on here, and whenever there'll be a sloping roof, as per the existing roof that's there now on the blue line beams, and water will not just drip down on people passing underneath it. Just wanted to confirm that. So that's a part roof. Part roof.
That's entirely over the pool, isn't it? There's no...
It's not entirely. If I can just refer you back, Councillor, to, let's say, 12/8, for example. It would not be wholly over the pool. If you can see how it relates to the hydroslide building on the right, it's on grid line. It doesn't show grid line purely, unfortunately. It's halfway across. So it's not the whole pool, it's part of it.
Probably about a third.
I know, sorry, it doesn't, what I meant was it doesn't cover any of the area on the edge of the pool, it's just over the...
It's over the pool, but it's also, Councillor, it's adjacent to the entrances to the learn to swim area. So if one was stood there watching one's child swim in the pool, you could do that hard up against that wall, which people do that now, there's seats there now. And you will be undercover. So if I'm stood there, back to the learn to swim pool wall, and I'm looking at my child in the pool swimming, I'm in a covered area. Okay?
Good. Councillor Hickling?
So is that over the ramp as well, Andrew?
Yes.
That's where that's located, isn't it?
Yes, Councillor, if you look at say 12/12, for example, you'll see that the dotted line comes about on grid line Q, which is about halfway across the hydroslide building. So if you superimpose that on 12/8, you'll see it's way over the ramp.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's that option, and we'll come back to the cost in a minute. And then on page 12/13 is a translucent roof over the whole of the building, the whole of the roof area that will be exposed. But please bear in mind that on grid line P, the wall there, that's completely over. So you have a roof there that covers the whole pool, notwithstanding the fact that on grid line P, there's nothing there. It's the columns and that's it. Okay. Now the last one on option 12, basically 12/14, it's a bit misleading, this I'm afraid. But that would be no roof at all and just the shade sails. And the very last option would be basically replacing like for like, total enclosure, new roof, ceiling, vapor barrier as per indoor 25-metre pool, and a wall not dissimilar to what's there now on grid line P. In fact, I'll just refer.
Sorry, Andrew.
I beg your pardon?
Carry on.